Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. I am going to do a sort of quick review today and a demonstration. I used base coat dense on this piece here. This is 3 layers. Let's see if I can get it. So you see the edges are nice and smooth except for this one because I messed up, but you don't have to look at that. They're nice and smooth, no bumps, nothing. I'm going to try 3 coats of Mod Podge. This is Mod Podge Glossy, and I'm going to see how well it holds up to the Base Coat Dense by Giardini, to see if it's maybe like a cheaper option for people, but I'll let you know. So right off the bat, I'm just going to see how the viscosity is of the Mod Podge. I'm using Mod Podge Glossy. Let's see. So I'm gonna dip them at the same time. Let's see. Okay, so the viscosity of the Giardini is very liquidy. I don't want to say very liquidy because, you know, it's nice. The Mod Podge does not drip, so I feel like this might be a little too heavy for a coating, so I'm going to try it out and see how it works. If I need to add more water, I can do that because Mod Podge is kind of just like glue. You know, you can just add some water, whatever. Alrighty, so let's get started with the Mod Podge. Again, I'm just going to dip it in and go on in. Okay, the only thing I would suggest if you're using Mod Podge, have you know, a towel nearby to wipe off the excess on the edges, just because I'm using glossy. If it were matte, I wouldn't mind so much, but the glossy will definitely show up on the vinyl, and I don't like that. So have one handy if you want to wipe it off, or don't, whatever. I'm just applying this the same as I would a regular base dense coat. So after adding this first layer, I don't think it's that thick. I don't see a problem. I'm not having any problem with like excessive dripping over the side. Alright, so that's done. Now I am back at the beginning, and the same happened with this one that happens with the regular edge, the base coat dense. Words are hard, you guys. So anyway, I came back to the beginning, and it's not completely dry. It's definitely still a little wet. So I'm going to follow the same rules that I always follow with the base coat, and I'm going to let this dry for 20 minutes. I'm not going to touch it, even though I want to, even though it looks semi-dry. I'm not going to do it. So I'll be back in 20 minutes to do the next step for you guys. It's been 20 minutes and we are completely dry, so I'm going to go ahead and add my second layer. It did dry glossy as I had thought. There's a little spot and messed up here and a little one across here. I'm going to try to take it off with some water, but I don't think it's going to come off. Actually, it might come off if I rub it. But yeah, this one dried shiny, so if you're going to go with Mod Podge, I'd suggest getting the matte. It looks okay, but the grooves are definitely not filled in as much as it would have been with the Giardini, so I'm going to try our second layer and see how it turns out. I will say that when I use the Giardini, if I get a little bit on the edge, I don't clean it up because when that one dries, it dries to like a semi-matte finish, so it's not really noticeable once I put the final edge coat on, so I don't bother wiping it off. But seeing as this one is super obvious, that's why I'm wiping. Mod Podge is also super sticky and I just don't like it. All right, second layer down. I'm gonna let that sit. I'll be back in 20 minutes. So we are back. My third coat is completely dry. I will say that I don't like it. It definitely has some bubbles. It's not as smooth as the Giardini. I'm gonna take an after picture after the edge paint has dried. But we'll see how this looks right now. This one definitely dried super glossy, which is obviously to be expected because I was using glossy. And I'm gonna use red on this so that I can see how it looks. You can see the imperfections better with colors, so I have the other one set up with yellow, so we'll see how that looks after. At first glance, it doesn't look terrible, but it doesn't look great either. So I guess I'm gonna finish both coats just to see how it comes out. All right, I'm going to let this sit now until it has completely dried, and then I'll go and add a second coat. Okay, so we're completely dry here, and I'm definitely not loving it. This is just one coat. I'm gonna put another coat anyway, but I definitely see the imperfections. Like if you move it back and forth, you can definitely see that the grooves are not completely full. Let me see if I can show you the other one next to it. So I already went ahead and painted my yellow one. And you can see it does make a difference too with the Mod Podge underneath. It normally the edge paint dries like semi-matte. Let me see if I have another one here. Yeah, so this is it next to one that I did with Giardini, and this is the one here with the Mod Podge. You can definitely see the difference. So yes, it's a cheaper version if you can't get your hands on the base coat dense, but I feel like it's just not up to my standards. Like I said, I'm going to go ahead and put another coat on. I don't think it's going to make a world of a difference, but you never know. So I'm going to try it out and let you know. It's definitely better than completely raw edges. I will tell you that. Here is the Mod Podge version. As you can see, it dried mostly, I would say it's super glossy. I don't like it. But yeah, you can see it does not completely fill these ridges in. In some spots it kind of did, but it looks very unclean to me. So I'm just going to take you all the way around. Don't mind my haggard nails. But yeah. It's definitely a suitable alternative if you can't get giardini. But for me, I don't have a problem getting it. So the price point doesn't matter to me. This is the giardini with one coat. Obviously, it's very matte, a very smooth finish, and it fills in all the grooves. So I guess it just depends on your budget and your ability to get these materials. I'm going to put these next to each other again just so you can see how they look side by side. Super different. Even when I move them, the Mod Podge one kind of has that glossy sheen that doesn't go away. I feel like if you were to use matte Mod Podge, say that 3 times. I can't. Anyway, yeah, if you were to use matte Mod Podge or even like the dishwasher safe one, that would probably be significantly better than the glossy. I don't have any, so I'm not going to test it, and I'm not going to go out and buy any just to test. So if you have tested it out with the matte one, let me know how it works. But here they are.